Hello everyone, welcome to our new unit called Angle Relationships. This is another geometry unit. Warning though, it does have a ton of vocab, so just make sure that you're reviewing this vocab every night so that you can get really good at it, because it makes the unit much easier if you are familiar with the vocab. So, first page here, when am I ever going to use this in real life? So, angles are used in construction. So any construction project is going to involve angles. Anything with building stuff has angles in it. You can also determine how high you have to throw something. So at what angle that you need to be at to throw something. Angles are going to be used when you make cartoons and video games. And then angles are used when flying a plane to know how far up or down to go. It's also important if you have like two planes in the sky at the same time to know if one has to go up a certain number of degrees or down. Jobs that use this: engineer, construction, architect. Those are all going to be buildings, stuff like that. Air traffic control and pilot is that flying aspect we talked about. Product designer, video game designer, that's going to be like making the cartoons, video games, or a mock-up of something. Carpenter goes back with our top line here of just making things. And surveyors are people that tell you how large piece of land is, so they got to make sure that their angle is correct so that they're getting the correct distance for your plot of land. And then this topic is going to come up again in geometry. Okay, a little bit of basic vocab that you should have heard before. A parallel line. These are two lines that never touch. So arrows on the line indicate that they are parallel. Okay, so I'll show you what that looks like down here on an example. They're just going to be little arrows like this. So let's just say, okay, those two lines are going to be parallel. The symbol for parallel is an 11. If I say L is parallel to M, I would write L is parallel to M. That's just what these two lines are named. And then I'm going to highlight my parallel lines in blue. So these are my parallel lines right here. If you don't have a highlighter, you're going to need at least 4 colors for this lesson. So make sure you grab a couple highlighters right now. So those are your two parallel lines. A transversal. This is a line that it crosses at least 2 lines. So in this setup here, my transversal is this line right here. I just highlighted it in yellow. Okay, congruent. If two angles are congruent, they have the same measure. They are equal, basically. So it means if two angles are congruent, if I put my protractor up against the angles and I measured them, they would have the same exact measurement. Maybe they're both 50 degrees. Other type is supplementary. If two angles are supplementary, their measure adds to 180 degrees. That means if they're supplementary and one angle is 80 degrees, okay, the other angle has to be 100 so that they add to 180 degrees. All right, little practice here. Highlight all your parallel lines in blue, highlight the transversal in yellow. Go ahead and give that a shot. Here's what you should have gotten. Parallel lines, transversal. All right, to the next page. So we're going to talk about special angles. There are 7 different types of special angles that we are going to learn about, and they're just different ways that angles around the parallel lines that are cut by a transversal can be, related to each other. So all of these angles are either supplementary or congruent, and they all have special names. A lot of the names involve these words, so alternate, consecutive, interior, exterior. If you know what these words mean, it helps us figure out what angles we are talking about. So alternate is a word that means opposite. It's like another choice that you could have. It's an opposite choice of one that maybe you picked. So these angles are opposite each other. Consecutive means right after. So if you are consecutive in line, it means you're one after another in line. So these types of angles are going to be right next to each other. Interior means inside. And then finally, exterior means outside. So that describes where these lines are compared to our parallel lines. Okay? Okay, our first type of angle is an alternate interior angle. So these angles are inside the parallel lines. That's where the word interior comes from. And on the opposite side, oops, that's a T, not a D, opposite sides of the transversal. That's what the alternate means. It's on opposite sides. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm just going to thinly highlight my parallel lines. I don't want those to be the main focus, but I just want to make sure we know where they are. And then I'm going to say, okay, I need angles that are inside the parallel lines. Inside means they are between the parallel lines. So I'm looking at 3, 4, 5, and 6. Those are all inside the parallel lines. Let's say I start with 3. All I'm going to do is just highlight that 3 there. That's the angle I'm looking at right now. Angle 3 is inside the parallel lines, and if I want the angle that is opposite on the side of the transversal, okay, here's my transversal. 3 is on the left side of my transversal. So I need to go to the right side. 6 is on the right side. 4 technically is as well, but 6 is going to be the angle that we care about with angle 3. Angle 4 will be something different. So 3 and 6 are alternate interior angles, because they are inside my parallel lines and on opposite sides. The other alternate interior angles we have here are going to be 5 and 4. Notice I use different colors so that I can tell which ones go with which. So 5 and 4, they're both inside my parallel lines and on opposite side of my transversals. These angles are congruent. That means if I put a protractor against the angle and I measured them, they would be the same. So in this picture, we said we have angle 3. Remember, that is the symbol for angle. We learned that a couple units ago. So I say this as angle 3 and angle 6, along with angle 4 and angle 5. All right, those are our two alternate interior. Let's talk alternate exterior. So alternate exterior, these angles are on the outside of the parallel lines. So that's where the word exterior comes in. And they are still on opposite sides of the transversal. We still have the word alternate. So still opposite sides. Again, I'm going to thinly highlight my parallel lines again. They're not the main focus. They just help us tell what's inside. So these guys are inside. That means 1, 2, 7, and 8 are outside the parallel lines. So I'm going to pick one of them. I will pick angle 1. Angle 1 is outside my parallel lines. It's also on the left side of my transversal. So to get the other angle that goes with angle 1, we're going to go to the right side. That would be on this side. Angle 8 is going to be our alternate exterior angle that goes with angle 1. Okay? That means the other set is going to be angle 2 and angle 7. Those are also alternate exterior angles. These are also going to be congruent. So angle 1 and angle 8, followed by angle 2 and angle 7. Okay? So the way I kind of remember which one is which, all the ones with alternate are going to be congruent, just so you remember that. You can also say, okay, I'm looking at angle 1 and angle 8. This looks like a pretty big angle. Angle 7 looks a lot smaller, like so does angle 2. That's how you can remember. Generally, angles that look the same will be congruent. I'm not saying every single time that will happen, but generally, if the picture is drawn well, angles that look the same will be congruent. Okay, next type, consecutive interior angles. These are angles that are inside the parallel lines, because we have the word interior, and they are on the same side of the transversal this time. That's what the word consecutive means. It's going to be the same side. So again, thinly highlight my parallel lines just so I kind of know where I am. I want to be inside them, and I want to be on the same side this time. So same side. Let's say I start with angle 3. The angle on the same side, it's on the left right now, would be angle 5. And then if I go to the other side, I have angle 4 matching up with angle 6. Those are going to be consecutive interior angles. We call those supplementary as well. Supplementary meaning those two angles add to 180 degrees. So angle 3 and angle 5, angle 4 and angle 6. All right, next type, consecutive exterior angles. So these are angles that are still outside, because we have the word exterior, the parallel lines, and they are on the same side of the transversal. That's where the word consecutive comes in. So again, I'm just thinly highlighting my parallel lines. Outside means I'm looking at 1, 2, 7, and 8. Let's say I start with number 1. This is currently on the left side of my transversal. So the consecutive exterior angle that goes with angle 1 will be angle 7. Because they are both on the same side of the transversal, they're on the left side. And then on the other side, there's angle 2 and angle 8. These angles are still supplementary. So when we look at these angles, they don't really look the same size. This angle is bigger than this angle right here. That's how you can kind of remember that they're supplementary. They don't look the same. Supplementary is your only other option. So that's angle 1 and angle 7, along with angle 2 and angle 8. All right, that's our first 4 types of angles. Let's go to the next page. 3 more types on this page. So on this page, we start with vertical angles. This is where we stop using those vocab words of consecutive, interior, exterior, alternate, those types of things. These are just angles that are a little bit of a different type. They're a little bit oddball because they don't have those words in it. So these angles are diagonally across from each other. And what I mean by that is, let's say I start at angle 1. I didn't highlight my parallel lines for this one because they actually don't affect our types of angles for this. So we're just going to add blue to our color wheel. Angle 1, if I go diagonally across, I'm going to go straight to angle 4. Those two are vertical. So if I started at 1 and went right, I'd be at 2. If I went down, I'd be at 3. If I go diagonally, I'm at 4. So we have angle 1 and angle 4. Well, now what if I started at angle 2? If I go diagonally across, I'm going to be at angle 3. Those are also vertical angles. The same thing is going to happen at the bottom bunch of angles down here. So I'm going to have angle 5 and angle 8. Those are vertical angles. Finally, the other ones here, we have angle 6 and angle 7. So you used all 4 colors on this one. Angle 6 and angle 7. All of these pairs are congruent. Okay, so vertical angles has quite a few options there. Next up, corresponding angles. Corresponding angles are angles in the same place of the parallel lines and on the same side of the transversal. Let's talk about what that means. Let's say I'm on angle 1. If I look at angle 1, it is in the top left of this bunch of angles, of the 1, 2, 3, and 4. It's in the top left. When I move down to the bottom set of angles, 5, 6, 7, and 8, I'm just going to look at the angle in the top left, angle 5. That is the other type of consecutive corresponding angle that goes with this. So angle 1 and angle 5 are corresponding. Now let's do another one. Let's say I'm at angle 2. Angle 2 is in the top right. So if I come down to the bottom set, angle 6 is also in the top right. That is the next corresponding angle. So angle 2 and angle 6. Next up, angle 3. Angle 3 is in the bottom left. So if I come down here, 7 is in the bottom left. So I have angle 3 and angle 7. And the last one here, I have angle 4. That's in the bottom right. So if I come down here, angle 8 is in the bottom right. So angle 4 and angle 8. These types of angles are congruent. And there is one more type of angle. It is called adjacent. So adjacent angles are angles that share a side. So they share either the transversal or maybe they share a line, like one of the parallel lines. Those are two different options we could have. And they also are right next to each other. So let's see what I mean by that. Let's say I'm at angle 1. Angle that shares a side with angle 1. Technically, I could go with angle 2 or angle 3. It's just got to be right next to it as well. So I could pick 2 or 3 and be correct on an adjacent angle. Let's say I pick 3. So angle 1 and angle 3 are adjacent. It could have been true if I picked 1 and 2 as well. Those are also adjacent angles. Let's say I go to angle 5. I just pick one of the numbers next to it. So it's either angle 6 or angle 7. I can pick either one. I'm going to pick 6 this time since I picked the other area last time. So angle 5 and angle 6 are both going to be adjacent angles. I could pick angle 7 and angle 5. Those are also adjacent angles. I could pick angle 2 and angle 4. Those are adjacent angles. There's actually 8 different types of adjacent angles on this picture. I'm not going to go through and highlight them all because it gets really, really confusing and we don't have enough colors for that. So those are a couple examples. Just know that it's whatever numbers are right next to each other. So 8 and 7, 8 and 6, and so on. These types of angles are supplementary, meaning they add to 180 degrees. Okay? All right, that was a lot of information. And that gets a little bit tricky to remember after a while. So I have a flow chart here that can help you figure out what type of angle you are working with. So the way that you read a flow chart, it says start here. That's where you start. And then you go through and say yes or no to the questions and you follow the arrows. So let's say you start here. You say, are the angles right next to each other? If it's yes, you go here. If it's no, you follow this. Are the angles both inside the parallel lines? Yes, no. Follow the arrows. When you get to the end of an arrow and you have one of these boxed in, you've come up with your type of angle. This is a tool to help you get used to what questions you should ask in your head as you go through your types of angles. This is not going to be something you get to use like on your test or on your review sheet. It's just something that you have to help you get used to the types of angles that we have. So let's start with right here, 4 and 5. I'm gonna highlight my parallel lines here. If that helps you, go for it. If it doesn't, that's fine. And I'm just gonna say, okay, I'm looking at 4 and I'm looking at 5. So it says start here. Are the angles right next to each other? That would mean 4 would be like 3 and 2, 5 would be like 6 and 7. No, they're not. Are the angles both inside the parallel lines? Okay, here's 4, here's 6. They're both between my blue lines, so I say yes. I follow my yes arrow. Are the angles both on the same side of the transversal? Here's my transversal, here's 4. 4 is on the right, 5's on the left. That's not the same side, so I follow no. And I am at alternate interior angles. Alternate interior. So that's what type of angles I have. And I just have to know, are those supplementary or are those congruent? Alternate interior angles are congruent. Couple ways I can figure that out. Anything with the word alternate is going to be congruent. You can also say, okay, angle 4, that looks pretty big. Angle 5 looks pretty big. They look like they're about the same size. I'm going to go with that they are. Again, that's just a trick to use. That's not always the case with every single picture. Okay, 2 and 7. So just a thin line on my lines, parallel lines here. Angle 2 is right here. Angle 7 is right here. Go through your flow chart. Are they right next to each other? Okay, 1's here, 1's right next to 2, 4's right next to 2. So no, they're not right next to each other, no. Are they both inside the parallel lines? Okay, 2's on top, 7's on bottom, so neither of them are inside the parallel lines. That's a no. Are the angles both outside the parallel lines? Yeah, 2's on top, 7's on bottom, so I follow yes. Are the angles both on the same side of the transversal? So 2's over here on the right, 7's on the left. That's a no. That means these are alternate exterior angles. Those are congruent. Oops, sorry, I'm writing down here. Alright, let's try a couple on the next page here. So on the next page, I have 3 and 4. So 3 and 4. I'm just checking how many questions I have so we make sure that we have enough for you to practice. Question 3. Here's my parallel lines. I'm looking at 4 and 6. Here's angle 4. Here's angle 6. Okay. Bring this guy back up so I can see my flow chart. Right here. So it says, are they both right next to each other? No. 4 is next to 3 and 2. That's not 6. They're not right next to each other. Are they both inside the parallel lines? Yes, they are both inside. So I say yes. Are they on the same side of the transversal? 4 and 6 are both on the right side, so that's a yes. So these are consecutive. Oops. Interior. Anything with the word consecutive is going to be supplementary. You can also just look at those angles and say, okay, they're not really the same size. That means they got to be supplementary. Last one I'll do with you. I have my parallel lines. Just going to highlight them. I am looking at angles 1 and angles 5. Okay. Are they right next to each other? No. Are they both on the inside of parallel lines? Okay, 1's on top, so that's outside. 5's inside. They're not both inside though, so I say no. Are they both outside? No. 1's inside, 1's outside, so I follow no. Are the angles diagonally across from each other? So if I start at 1 and I go diagonally across, I'd be at 4. Means I'm not at 5, so I'm at corresponding. Remember, those are the angles where if you picked it up and moved it down to the other bunch, it'd be in the same spot. 1's in the top left, so is 5. That type of angle is congruent. All right, I want you to practice now. So I want you to go through and try 5 all the way through. I accidentally numbered these wrong. This should be 9, this should be 10. So go through and do 5 through 10. These guys over here are going to be star questions. Do them if you would like to. Go do that now. Here's the answers you should get. Pause them if you need to look a little bit longer. Here's the answers on this one. Alright, if you have questions, let me know. We will do the next part of this lesson in a part 2 since this is already a pretty long video. So have a lovely day.